So now we will discuss about food infections, and we'll discuss some of the pathogens and their appearance, how they are look like, how they are identified, and what are their effects. Normally, the food-borne infections are caused by these food that contain these microorganisms, and when we consume this food, the pathogens get entry into our system, and then we start developing symptoms, and the disease starts taking place after ingestion of these food. As I earlier said, there are large number of these pathogens that are they have potential to cause disease in human. There are around 200 foodborne diseases from these pathogens, and we need to actually able to identify from these symptoms and from the food consumed that what is the kind of pathogen that is involved for the kind of incidence. For example, the foodborne pathogens that create some disease or some infection or some disease that has been caused to the consumption of that food. So in order to understand that fairly well, we need to understand that what is the kind of pathogens that can create that kind of symptoms in our food. For example, we'll discuss more about Clostridium botulinum. As we earlier discussed, it can be very potent. It can cause death when the toxins are produced and consumed by human beings in their food. So this microorganism is basically gram-positive, obligate, anaerobe. It forms spores. So the spore-forming bacteria are more serious because when even we heat the food or pasteurize the food, these might form spores and then grow back when the suitable environment is given to these microorganisms. This has got so much severity that even few nanograms of toxins produced by Clostridium botulinum can create incidences, for example, death in many cases. So there are five types of the botulinum that is prevalent or that can happen. For example, there could be food-borne botulinum, where the food is consumed having these toxic compounds generated by these pathogens, and this can lead to disease. Another type is wound botulism, where the wound is contaminated. If we have got any wounds, if it gets contaminated, the pathogen might be spread through these wounds. Infant botulism is a serious thing. It's a serious concern for many countries as well, where the infants get these botulism from food sources, and then they develop the microflora of this C. botulism in their intestine as well, and they get this kind of disease, and this is serious because this leads to death in many cases. And similarly, infant botulism is it can also happen the adult infections as well, where in case of adults, their microflora, it might have this pathogen inside their intestine as a routine pathogen attached to the intestine, and it can really keep on releasing these toxic compounds into the human system, and the disease is called as adult infectious botulism. There is a fifth type as well, which is called as inadvertent botulism infection. This can happen inadvertently when we consume different other products, for example, cosmetic applications or other pharmaceutical applications. Through them, these infections might occur, and that can lead to disease. Another important pathogen, as we earlier discussed, something about Salmonella is as well. It's a gram-negative, rod-shaped motile bacterium. It does not form spore, so it means if we properly heat the food, we can get rid from these kind of pathogens. It is found mostly in fresh water and soil as well. Animal feces are also another source of this pathogen. The disease that it causes is called as salmonellosis, and it can cause death even when it is consumed in a very small amounts. Another serious pathogen is Listeria monocytogens. It is gram-positive. It is motile bacteria. It can move. They are not spore-forming bacteria, and they are quite resistant to desiccation and heat. So it means it is difficult to get rid of this bacteria from our food. It is found mostly in soils, and birds and animals, they can carry this pathogen and they can transmit this pathogen to our food. The disease that is caused by this kind of infection is listeriosis. Listeriosis leads to many deadly conditions. For example, septicaemia, which is the infection of the blood. When the infection travels into your blood, and from that it might have serious implications. Again, meningitis is another disease, which is the inflammation of the membrane of the brain as well as the spinal cord. uh, Encephalitis, it's the inflammation of brain itself. So it means that these two kind of inflammations, they are deadly, they are very serious. It is caused by Listeria monocytogens, and also this can lead to abortions in pregnant women. Instant abortions can happen if we consume food having this Listeria monocytogens, and this infection takes place. Another deadly pathogen is Staph aureus, which is gram-positive, small round-shaped bacteria. It's cocci basically, and it can produce toxins which are heat stable. So by heat, we cannot destroy these toxins, and these toxins do remain inside our food, and they create serious problem when the food is consumed. This is almost present in humans in their skin as well, and they can be easily transmitted to food and food surfaces. Normally on nasal passages, throat, skin, and here they are the carrier of this pathogen, and from there it can infect, it can get into food and then infect other humans. E. coli is another microorganism which can lead to 4 different classes of diseases. If it's a gram-negative bacteria, it is found in intestine of the mammals. The outbreaks, again, because it is found in the intestine, so most of the outbreaks are through the fecal oral route. By that I mean that once the fecal material contaminates water and other or hands, from there it gets into your food, and from food, once it is consumed, these infections can spread from there. So fecal oral route is the common route for this kind of pathogens, and it happens in case of unprocessed or inadequately processed food when it is consumed. The last pathogen is Campylobacter jejuni. If we talk about this is gram-negative, microaerophilic. Needs is a small amount of air is needed for the growth. It is motile. It is rod-shaped bacteria. The sources are basically chicken and milk, raw milk especially, and it is also found in intestine of many of the healthy cattle as well. So they can contaminate the food through flies and farms, and they are present in non-chlorinated water. Most of the water in the farms is not chlorinated, so that may be a source of Campylobacter jejuni that can get into the water, and from there it can contaminate any kind of food through surfaces, through hands, through washing, or any other operations. So this was a brief talk about all these pathogens, their shapes and the way they are spread to the food, and then they cause infections.